What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Will back with another video. And today we're gonna be getting into another interesting video topic. Now, today I wanted to bring up a hypothesis from my own, and it kind of stirred the pot a little bit. But you know what I'm talking about today does got a little bit of facts behind it. As you guys know, since the Cleveland Browns played the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have been on a terrible slate. And I believe the Cleveland Browns broke. Yes, the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland, yes, broke, shattered, destroyed, mentally weakened the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that loss to the Browns completely derailed and deterred their entire franchise. And I'm going to go off on a lift, and I'm going to say that loss to the Browns is going to be the start of many more losses to come for the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise. Thinking about it and looking at it, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns, as far as the matchup wise, the Steelers have always had the Browns number up until probably pretty much since Kevin Stefanski's been there. The Browns still kind of struggle against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. With that being said, though, the Steelers did beat the Browns this year in Pittsburgh. And the Steelers all year season long has had this good record and this good yellow and black. I mean, black and yellow. And you know what I'm saying? They've always went off their tradition. And that's how they pull out these games. Then they drop a game to the Texans. Everybody's like, whoa. They get blew out by the 49ers. Then they lose to Jags. And every game that the Steelers win, you got to come to yourself and ask yourself, is this a good football team? They were sitting here at, what, 7-4? Excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather. But they were sitting here at 7-4. Tied with the Cleveland Browns, I'm pretty much sure. Then the Steelers went up and played the Cleveland Browns, fresh off of losing their starter quarterback for the year, their franchise quarterback for the year. Playing a fifth-round rookie, the same rookie that the Baltimore Ravens completely abolished and destroyed on the same field. And they gave up a game-winning touchdown drive. Only put up 10 points. And the 10 points they did put up came off a big play. Now, as you guys know, the Cleveland Browns, as we all know, give up big plays. They gave up two big plays to the Pittsburgh Steelers. One to George Pickens in game one and one to Jalen Warren. Now, with all that being said, the Steelers started to come back in that game against the Browns. And as they started to come back, they decided to punt the ball away with 1:30 left. Completely disrespectful to the Cleveland Browns offense instead of going for it. And DTR, fifth-round rookie, and Kevin Stefanski and co. get a game-winning drive. What happens next? Why is that important? If we rewind and go back to the season, everybody was calling for Matt Canada's job. Let's talk about it. Everybody blamed all the offensive woes. Fire Matt Canada, fire Matt Canada, fire Matt Canada. Kind of similar to how the Browns was with Joe Woods. Now, it was some truth to the Joe Woods stuff, and it was some stuff that was on the Cleveland Browns players. It's always two sides of the fence. If a team is performing badly, it's not always 100% on the head coach. Now, the head coach can take about 50% of the blame for sure, but the head coach ain't catching the football. The head coach ain't making tackles. The head coach ain't blocking. The head coach ain't seeing the field. The head coach ain't the one throwing it to the quarterback. To the receivers. The head coach ain't picking who's going to get the ball. Not the head coach, but the offensive coordinator. Y'all get what I'm saying. So now you have Matt Canada completely under fire for an entire year. He goes from sitting in the booth to sitting down on the field. They think that fixes everything. They're back on their high heels, on their horses. They're back talking crazy, disrespecting everybody. They're back. Then they dropped that game to the Browns. Matt Canada is fired. Then what happened? Did all the problems get solved? Did everything get fixed? No. Of course it didn't. You wanna know why? Because they are overrated. Everybody that tried to blame and throw Matt Canada under the bus. Now, mind you, I don't think Matt Canada is a good offensive coordinator. But I also don't think that Kenny Pickett's a good quarterback. I also don't think that George Pickens is up there as an elite wide receiver. I also don't think that Deontay Johnson is an elite wide receiver. I also don't think that they have an elite offense. Or George Pickens is good. Deontay Johnson is good. They're both good receivers. Pat Freiermuth, good tight end. Jalen Warren, much better than Najee Harris. And the true problem is that Kenny Pickett is garbage and should have never been drafted in the first round. And he might be closer to Colt McCoy than he is to Will Levis. And a lot of guys and a lot of Steelers fans don't want to face the fact. But, hey, as a Browns fan looking outside in, we've been here before, y'all. We've been there before. You know, you got your team. You think you're turning everything around and everything coming. Then you play the Steelers, slap back into reality. That's what happened to the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. They thought everything was soft. They thought everything was fixed. They came and played the Browns and got smacked back into the reality. Smacked back into the reality. The Cleveland Browns broke the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's talk about what's happened since the Pittsburgh Steelers lost in disappointing fashion, melting down to the Cleveland Browns. Let's talk about it. The Pittsburgh Steelers, first off, beat Jake Browning, had 400 yards of offense. Everybody just, in their pom-poms, thinking they solved the problems and shit. Then they get obliterated by the Cardinals. The Cardinals at home. They got shit on by the Cardinals at home. They lose their quarterback. Mind you, they were already talking about and benching Kenny Pickett. They lose Kenny Pickett, and then boom. They come out and they play the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. The 2-10 Patriots. They gave up 21 to the Patriots, who I don't remember the last time the Patriots scored over 20. And they also gave over 20 to the Cardinals. Outside of the block punt, Pittsburgh got completely outplayed by two 2-10 teams. Two 2-10 teams. Completely outplayed them on their home field. Embarrassed them. Embarrassing fashion. That's what happens when your team gets broke. And I can't be wrong. I might be wrong. This video might age poorly as milk. But I'll be very, 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 and actually, fuck it. I'm going to go out on a limb. The Pittsburgh Steelers won't win more than 3 games the rest of this year. They won't. I will be very surprised if they make it to 500. I'll make it above 500 because you can't be 500 anymore. But I see 7-9 writing on the wall. They might get to 8 wins. What would 8 be? What would 8 wins be? It'd be 8-9 actually. I'm sorry, not 7-9, 7-10. I think they're gonna go 8-9 for the rest of the year. I think they're gonna fall out the playoffs. They're gonna get like the 17th pick in the draft, and they're gonna be right back where they started. Needing a quarterback, not close enough to the top 5. Not close enough to the top 5 to get them, and not good enough to be in the playoffs. And you know that what we call that, guys? Mediocrity. They're an average football team, and they've always been an average football team. And it's starting to show now who they really are besides their record. And it's quite fitting that it's happened after they got beat by the Browns. Because this is the type of stuff that usually happens to the Browns. They think they're doing good. They're winning some games. This thing's starting to change around. And they get blew out by Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh Steelers have been broken by a team they used to break, but now it's breaking them. and the Cleveland Browns. You guys comment down below how y'all feel. I'm probably gonna make a lot of you guys mad. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, this video, you're probably gonna dislike this video. But like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's your boy Will. I'm out. Peace.